Hey trappers, I got a surprise for you all today. So we're gonna sit down here. I'm gonna drink myself a Yingling Oktoberfest. These only come out this time of the year and they're sure tasty. And I'm gonna reveal this surprise here in a little bit. You're gonna see in the title of this YouTube video that it's going to be a new trap coming out in the market. And I just want to start off by saying, and I've seen Alan Probst just had a video on the other day, and he kind of touched on this a little bit. I use all different kinds and brands of traps. I'm not a trap snob. I've used them all. They all have good points and they all have some bad points, some of them. But, you know, Charlie Dobbins was kind of a hero of mine. He was the granddaddy of modern trap adjustment, really. And, you know, he was kind of the same way. Like I said, he's an idol of mine. I never got to meet him, but he knew his way around lots of different traps, and I like to think that I'm kind of that way too. In fact, you know, a lot of newer trappers with all the premium type traps on the market, a lot of these newer trappers, and this is not a cut at them, but they don't want to mess around tuning and adjusting and modifying traps, so they'll go buy a 550 style trap or whatever, and you know, clean off the oil, dye and wax it or dip it, and they go trapping, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's trap adjustment is just kind of becoming a lost art, and it's just simply because these newer traps on the market are premium high-end traps, and that's what a lot of people are going for. Now, you know, back to the point I was trying to make about I use all different kind of traps. You know, in my videos here, there's a Duke trap banner, and it's no secret I've used Duke traps for many, many, many years. Bill Duke is a friend of mine. I've known him a long time, but that's not the reason I use this product. I use this product because they're priced right and they work, and I've had really, really good results with them. And Duke Traps have continuously tried to improve their products throughout the years. So, you know, I just want to add to that, I don't have any sponsors, you know. I guess my sponsor is TS Trapline. Speaking of that, check out this new hat. Duck camo with my axe and rifle logo. But anyway, yes, my sponsor's my own business. I don't have any sponsors. Any products that I show on here on this channel is stuff that I use, stuff that I like, or, you know, just something I'm going to try to review. You know, some folks will give me things and to try out, and that's great. But like I said, I'm not a slave to any sponsors like some folks with TV shows or YouTube channels or whatever. You know, and to add to that, there's some people out there that think I make money on this YouTube channel. Well, I don't even have it monetized. I do this, you know, to help the trapper and also to promote my business. I'm not going to lie about that. But I'm not making any money off of YouTube, and unless something would really change and I'd start getting thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers, I'm not going to apply for monetization because I just don't have the time to be bothered with it. So I know there's people out there that are bad-mouthing me, you know, thinking that I'm making money off of this YouTube channel, and, you know, they're full of crap is what they are. So now that I forced you to sit and listen to my rant on a few different things, I'm going to reveal the surprise. A while back, I had a conversation with Glenn Witchie of Wolf Creek Products. He makes a few foot traps, and they're copies of the old Northwoods. And I said, Glenn, I said, you have a frame and springs and pan and levers and all the parts you need for a 1 3/4. I said, why don't you make a 1 3/4? All you need was a new set of jaws and throw it in your existing 1.5 frame, and use the other 1.5 parts. And a Northwood's 1 3/4 was just that. It was a 1.5 trap frame, and it just had bigger jaws in it. So Glenn liked the idea, and I actually had sent him a couple prototypes of where I took his 1.5 and put some Northwood jaws in it, and it turned out really nice. I actually kind of forgot about it, and then the other day Glenn asked me for my address, and sure enough, what showed up in the mail was a dozen of these new 1 3/4 Wolf Creek 1 3/4 Eliminators, 1.75 Eliminators, and here they are. More or less a Northwoods copy. What I think, I don't know, and I know this is going to be the next question, is pricing. I asked Glenn, and he said he does not know what the MSRP on these is going to be yet. So that's going to be a while. But I just wanted to, bring this new product to the attention of the trapping world. 1.75 Wolf Creek Eliminator. I have not had a lot of time to play with these yet, but I believe they're going to be a heck of a mink trap. Pretty good mink and muskrat trap. I can see guys using them for fisher, that sort of thing, and it's going to be a half decent fox trap too. Just like I said, I might do another video of the full tuning and everything I do to them. But like I said, when I was seeing these, I was thinking these were going to be a great mink and muskrat trap, an alternative to the venerable number 2 Victor Square Jaw, if you can't find them. And like I said, I just quickly went through, and I'll tell you what I kind of did to it just sitting here, and then I'll take the camera over and put it on my bench, and I'll show you everything up close. So this is just a simple thing. It's not necessary. When I pulled the trap out of the box, a lot of these J hooks, just the way they're bent, I put them in the vise and I made the bend more round, so there's more shank. It just grinds. There's a longer shank on them. It just binds with grass less and just makes the swivel work better. And it's real simple and quick to do. Not a necessity, but when I put swivels on traps, I always make sure the J hook is bent on a fairly tight circle, so there's more shank there to eliminate some of that pinch point where you get grass in there. So I did that. The other thing I did was tighten up the pan bolt, and I don't think there's going to be really a need to put a washer in. Some traps you need a washer. It causes issues, but these tightened up really nice. I squared the dog off with a file, or I'm sorry, the pan notch off with a file. Just squared that off a little bit. Closed the dog eye like I do on every trap. Now, these Wolf Creek traps come with a little bend at the tip of the dog, and I'm assuming it's done in there to create some pan tension. What I did is I hammered that flat, and I kind of just ground it away. I believe the dog is a hair too long for my liking, and I don't really like that. For mink, I don't want that added pan tension, so I just got rid of that. And that worked out pretty good. If you can see a line, when you hammer it flat, you can kind of see a line there where it was bent, and then you just take it to your bench grinder, grind to that point, smooth it up with a file, and it should be good to go. Then you just bend the dog post back and down to get back and forward to get your up and down adjustment. But yeah, these are I believe they're going to be a really good mink trap, or a really good all-around trap if you're looking for something that's a square jaw. They come with a brass pan screw with a lock nut, which is a good feature in my opinion. The only real negative that I can say about this trap is there's going to be a couple guys that are going to use them, try them for fox, and they'll work for fox. But really the only negative is the dog is pretty flimsy. You're going to have, you know, coyotes are going to really make pretzels out of the dogs. And I tell it like it is, you know, and that's the big weak point I see of this trap. Pretty flimsy dog, but, you know, once it's destroyed, and I'm sure these are going to come in at a price point where they're pretty affordable, but once a dog's destroyed, you can put a heavier duty dog on these things. But like I said, I just see them being a great mink and rat trap, and you know, guys using them. I think I could see guys using them for Fisher too. But that's kind of what I did to them. Very simple adjustments. Like I said, most of it is in the dog, but these have very little pan tension, and it's kind of due to the design of the pan notch is really long, and it actually extends back past the pivot point a bit. Now, when you square it off, you kind of eliminate some of that. But because of that long pan notch, you actually have negative pan tension with this. So I could think maybe if these, you know, the way I took that tip off the dog, if these were waxed, they might just set off on their own. So that's just easily fixed by grinding more of that pan notch away. It's kind of like the posi trip style, you know, type system in reverse. Your pivot point's moved away from, or I'm sorry, your engagement point is moved away from your pivot point in a posi trip, and this actually, your engagement point is a little that way. So that's harder, it's a lot easier to understand by looking at it than it is explaining it. But like I said, I will move my camera and I will show you, you know, some of the features of this up close and show you kind of what I did, and you know, you can get a better look at it, and then we'll wait until we see what Glenn comes out with, what they're gonna be priced. But I know there's guys that used to love these, you know, back in the boom fox trap, and with the popularity of square jaw #2 Victors, I could just see a lot of folks, you know, buying these as an alternative, and they're going to be a pretty good alternative. So stay tuned. Okay, this is the trap as it comes out of the box, right like that. Comes with a mid-chain swivel, machine chain, brass screw, lock nut. Just give you a little overall look at it. Now I want to show you this. Remember how I said I put these J hooks in the vise? I just kind of put that where my finger is in one jaw of the vise and my thumb, and I squeeze that shut. And I'll show you what that looks like. This is one I've already done. See the difference? You close them up a little more, squeeze them tighter, you're not going to have near the problems with grass binding up in there. Okay, I might as well just show you the one I have. What I did to the dog is I closed the dog eye in the vise, and I hammered that. There's that tip that's bent up. I hammered that flat and then ground it back to that line. And that worked out to be about the length dog I wanted. See, that's the finished one. Bend the dog eye shut, and grind that, flatten it out and grind it away. Like I said, I just tightened that up. Now there's a little slop in there, but you know, for mink, when you're not running any pan tension anyway, that really doesn't matter. But yeah, that I did not really need a washer in there to make that smooth, which is good. And like I said, the lock nut's a really good feature. Just want to show you this real quick. First, I'll actually set the trap for you. Now, these are not night lash or anything. See how that comes down? There's that. See how it comes down when I lift it up? That's that negative pan tension I'm talking about. These have an L on the spring, like the Bridgers and the old Northwoods. And that, if you're coyote trapping, I think I read about this the first time in Mike Marziata's book. Coyotes can get their teeth under there and pull them springs right off. And I think the first or second or third coyote I ever caught, it was within the first 10 coyotes of my life I ever caught, they actually did that. So, yeah, if you're going to be coyote trapping seriously, trying, to coyote trap seriously with these smaller traps, I'd make a cut right there. Right there. Cut that off. But for mink, it really doesn't matter. But what it does do, what that L does do, it kind of makes your loose jaw sit up a little bit. And I showed this before. Just put a screwdriver in there and bend your levers just slightly down, and that'll help eliminate that. But yeah, that's kind of all I really did to these things. Bring it up closer, take a look at it. 1.75 Eliminator. I don't have that pan 100% tight. Give you a look at it here. I will say, I like these Hangman from Mink. Top edge sets. It does not work real well with these. In fact, it doesn't work at all. It's just like the Bridgers. The Hangman do not work with Bridgers or Northwoods. And here is Jeff Haggerty's famous Hags bracket. You're gonna have to bend it that a little bit to get that right. It hangs down pretty good, but so yeah, if you're looking to use the Hangman, I look for some used number 2 Victor square jaws, but for stack rock sets or bridge wall sets, these are gonna be a good little trap. I'm happy with them. They set easy, they go off easy. I mean, that's the thing. So many of these new traps today are the pan tension, just the design of them is through the roof. You're not going to have that with these. Now, I want to show you one more thing. I know people are going to ask about mink pans. Barker's Mink Pan number 1 fits on these guys because it's a 1.5 size trap. The Mink Pan number 2 is what you use for a number 2 Victor square jaw, but that's a Barker's Mink Pan number 1. And it works pretty good with them. So, all right, guys, any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer them. I want to measure it. I think the jaw spread I measured before was exactly 5 1/4 outside. I'm from Pennsylvania, so I measure outside jaw spread. Yeah, 5 1/4. But yeah, any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Just leave a comment down below, and I'll do what I can to answer your question on these. And as soon as I hear a price on them, I'll let you know. Until next time.